I couldn't move a single muscle. I felt something invisible pressing on my chest with unbearable force. The darkness was absolute, but I knew I wasn't alone. Then I saw it. A shadow at the foot of my bed, black as nothingness, faceless, with eyes fixed that didn't blink, staring at me with an icy hunger, as if it fed on my fear. I wanted to scream, but no sound came out. I wanted to move, but I was a body trapped in an invisible coffin. The shadow slowly slid toward me, stretching its fingers, brushing my cold skin. I felt a cold so deep I thought I was going to freeze to death right there. Its voice came, a raspy whisper that echoed in my soul. "You won't escape." And I knew that night, something had come for me. The night before had been normal, no signs that something like this would happen. I went to bed tired, without premonitions, no strange noises, just the usual silence. But when I woke up that night, I felt something had changed. The temperature dropped, the air became dense, heavy, as if it was breathing next to me. I tried to move my eyes. I saw a dark figure at the foot of the bed. I couldn't make out details, just a shadow that seemed to absorb the little light there was. For seconds that felt like hours, I was paralyzed. I couldn't even breathe. I felt panic invading every fiber of my body. Finally, suddenly, the shadow disappeared. The light returned, and I was alone, trembling in my bed. I thought it was a dream, a nightmare too real, but it wasn't. That presence came back. Not once, not twice, but many nights in a row. Each time the shadow was closer, sometimes at the foot of the bed, other times to one side. Even once I felt it on the pillow very close to my face. I couldn't talk about this with anyone. Who would believe me? How to explain that something invisible, terrifying, came closer every night to torment me? I started recording the moments with a camera. I wanted proof. I wanted to understand what was happening to me. The footage was worse than my worst nightmares. At 3:17 a.m., the camera captured a figure slowly emerging from the dark corner of the room. A shadow that seemed to feed on the darkness itself, that approached me while I slept. It had no face, just a black, dense mass, like a stain that moved with its own will. I started living in constant fear. Changing rooms didn't help. The shadow appeared reflected in mirrors, on my phone screen, even in the windows when I looked outside. The presence no longer stayed just in my room. It followed me everywhere. I sought help. I spoke with a priest who blessed my house and said prayers, but nothing changed. One night, I heard footsteps in the hallway. Slow, dragging, a barely audible whisper. "You're not alone." Those words repeated over and over until I woke up sweating, trembling. Since then, the nights got worse. I felt the shadow sitting next to me on the bed. I felt its cold breath on my neck. I felt its weight on my chest. I tried to scream, but I couldn't. I tried to move, but it was as if my body didn't respond. I was prisoner to that presence. I decided to face it. One night, I sat on the bed and spoke to it. I asked who it was, why it was with me. The shadow stayed still, but for a moment I felt a deep sadness, a lament that couldn't be expressed with words. I felt it wasn't an evil being, but a lost soul trapped between this world and another. It asked me for help. It asked me to remember it, not to forget it. But I didn't know how to help it. Since that night, every day became a battle for my sanity. Every night at 3:17, I know it will come back. I know that shadow watches me from the darkness. I know I'm not alone. And now I tell you, because if you're listening to this, maybe the shadow is with you too. And the only thing you can do is prepare, because the night visitor never leaves. Every time I write or talk about this experience, I feel the visitor comes a little closer, as if the words were a bridge that attracts it. And even if I wanted to forget it, erase this story from my mind, I know it's impossible. It not only lives with me, but also waits patiently, in the darkness, in the silence, in the exact moment before you close your eyes tonight. Because it doesn't just want you to know it's there, it wants you to feel what I felt. It wants you to recognize the cold on your skin, the pressure on your chest, the gaze that doesn't disappear even when you turn off the light. And now, I ask you a question. Have you ever felt that you're not alone in the dark? Have you seen a shadow that shouldn't be there? Or heard a whisper that chilled your blood? If something like this happened to you, leave it in the comments. Share your story, your fear, your truth. Because on this channel, we are not alone. And if you want to keep hearing these stories, if you want to prepare for what hides in the night, subscribe and activate the bell. We don't know when the night visitor will return, but when it does, it will be best to be ready. I'll see you in the next video. But remember, when darkness embraces you tonight, look carefully at the foot of your bed, because it could be there,